In this video, we are going to see what exactly is ELK Stack. In the ELK Stack, E stands for Elasticsearch, L stands for Logstash, and K stands for Kibana. Elasticsearch is a search and analytics engine which is based on Apache Lucene. Logstash is used to collect data, transform it, and send it to the desired destination. And Kibana is a data visualization and exploration tool used for log and time series analysis. We are going to closely look at how ELK Stack works. Let's move on to a computer screen and let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm inside of my computer screen and now I'm going to explain what exactly is ELK Stack. Now the ELK Stack is more famous with the term Elasticsearch, but whatever you call it, it consists of Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana, and we are going to install all of these three using this guide for the sake of copying and pasting the commands because we don't want to remember the commands, and this guide from Linode pretty much simplifies the process. And we are going to understand each and every step in this video. So let's go to our Akamai account, which if you have not created yet, you can go and create one using the link in the description, and you are going to get $100 60-day credit, and you can try everything out for free. And let's now select Ubuntu 20 LTS. I'm going to use Mumbai because it's near me, and then I'm going to select dedicated 4 GB. I'm going to choose a password. Let me choose an easy password for the sake of demo purpose, but you always want to choose a password which is strong enough so that your devices are protected. I'll have to wait for this machine to provision. Alright, so the machine has booted up. Let's copy this command and we are going to now log into this machine. I'm going to enter my password and I'm inside this machine. So let's go to this guide and follow everything. The first thing that I want to do is to run apt update and upgrade. So let's do it. And the next thing I want to do is to install Java because Logstash requires Java. So let's install Java for Logstash to function properly. And I'm waiting for this to finish. Yes, I want to install. And if you don't want this Y prompt to come, you can always append -y to your command and it will not ask you whether you want to install or not. Let's wait for this to finish up and then we are going to install Java. It's taking some time, let it take its time, and once everything is done, we are simply going to paste this command to install Java. Alright, so it's done. Let's install Java now. And the next thing that we want to install is Elasticsearch. So let's copy this command and we are going to simply install the official Elastic apt package signing key. Let's wait for everything to finish up. And once Java is installed, we are going to do that. And then we are going to say apt install Elasticsearch. So let's run this command. And after running this command, we'll paste, copy and paste this one, which will simply help us install Elasticsearch. And then we are going to say apt update. You don't have to do apt get, you can do apt update. But let's copy this command to install Elasticsearch, and once I run this command, it will ask me whether I want to install Elasticsearch or not. And yes, Elasticsearch is installing. And once Elasticsearch is installed, we are going to copy this file path and we are going to make sure that we have XMS and XMX memory set up. So JVM heap size should be set to 1/4 of your server's memory. So in my case, I can set it up to 1 GB, but I'll set it up to 512 MB. So it is going to function properly anyway. So we can do sudo nano. Since I'm already root, I don't have to do sudo. So I'm going to say nano and let's find those options. It is by default set to 4 GBs, but I want to set it up as 512 MB. So let's do that. So I'll set it up as 512M. So this file should look like this, and you just have to alter these two lines. That's it. And then to save, you can simply say Ctrl X, Y and enter, and this file has been saved. The next thing that you want to do is to enable the Elasticsearch service. So we are going to copy and paste these commands one by one. It's always better to run these commands one by one and your Elasticsearch will start. And then you can always check the status of Elasticsearch service. Let's wait for Elasticsearch service to start. It takes some time. And now we are going to issue a command systemctl status Elasticsearch. And this command will help us check the status of Elasticsearch. As you can see, it's running, which means that everything is good. And then you can always do this to check whether Elasticsearch service is up or not. And yes, everything is as expected, which means that Elasticsearch is installed and it is up and running. Now let's install Logstash. And after Logstash is installed, we are going to install Kibana. And since Logstash has already been installed, it's unpacking it. Let's wait for it to finish. And yes, it is finished. So now we can install Kibana. And once Kibana is finished, we are going to create a file called template.json. And we have to create this file at the user root. Okay, so we are going to create this file at /root because we are using the root user. It's always better to create a user which has sudo privilege instead of using root. But I'm using it for the sake of demonstration purpose. So let's copy the content of this file and I'll say pwd. Yes, I am inside /root folder. Now I'll simply use nano or vim. Let me use nano and template.json, and let's paste this and Control X, Y, enter. This will create a file called template.json here. Now I can use this file. So what we are essentially doing is we are instructing Elasticsearch to set the number of shards to 1 here and number of replicas to 0. So let's copy this command and let's paste it here. And it will tell me acknowledge true, which means that what I asked it to do has been done. Okay. Now once everything is done, let's change the Logstash configuration. I will simply say nano and this file, and this has been set to 1 GB. I'll make it 512M, 512M. Once again, do not get confused. This is not for Kibana. This is for Logstash. This is not for Elasticsearch, and I'm changing it for Kibana. Sorry, Logstash. And let's say Control X, Y, enter. So let's do Control X, Y, and enter. And yes, it has been changed. Awesome. So since it has been changed, now we can simply copy this content, and let me copy the file name first, and we are going to create an Apache configuration. So nano. So we are basically creating this Logstash configuration where simply what we are saying is that we want to grab the Apache logs and we want to send it to Elasticsearch. Okay, so let's copy this and let's Control X, Y, enter. And yes, this apache.conf file has been created. Now we can enable Logstash. So let's enable Logstash. And yes, we want to start Logstash, and it has been started. The same thing we should do with Kibana as well. Let's start Kibana. And yes, the Kibana has been started. Now this is a Linux command which will help us create Apache logs. Before we can create Apache logs, let's install Apache. So we'll say apt install Apache 2. This will install Apache. This is not mentioned in this guide, but you should install Apache 2 if you haven't already done that. Now, if you copy this command, it will simply hit the Apache server and it will request the HTML file, which will in turn generate Apache access logs because we have tried to access Apache, right? So let's copy this. We have already copied this command. We are simply waiting for this to finish. And yes, so we have used the for loop, and this is nothing but the Apache default page. And yes, we have copied and pasted this command. Now, all you need to do is copy this command and paste it inside of your computer. Do not paste it in Linode server. You don't have to do that. You have to do this to forward this port, and we are simply forwarding the port so that we can use the local host of this Linode as local host in our browser. Okay, let me show you how we can do that. Simply say root @ and the IP, which is this one. Let's copy this IP and let's paste it here. Make sure you write root @ 194, whatever your IP is. Let me press enter, and I have entered my password. Now I can go to this localhost 5601. And as you can see that I'm able to access Elasticsearch. Wow, yes. So here you want to say explore on my own. Essentially, if you don't know what I've done is that I have forwarded the local host of my machine to localhost of my computer so that I can use inside of my browser. Now you can simply click here and you can click on visualize library, or let us follow this guide. So explore on my own, and then we are simply clicking on discover here. And after we have done discovered, we can simply click here and you can see that your index pattern can match two sources. Now there is one thing that I want to mention, and the thing is that here it is assumed that the access logs are here, but by default the Apache access logs are here, which is /var/log/apache2 access.log. So let's do one thing. Let's copy this path and let's put it inside logs. So we are going to simply say that the HTML has these logs. Okay, so let's say /etc/apache2 sites available, and let's edit this file and let's change the Apache log, and I'll press I and then I'll comment this out, and once again I'll comment this out, and let's paste it here, and this is my error log and this is my custom log, and instead of saying example.com, I'll say HTML, and the same goes for this as well. And yes, so let's save this file and sudo service apache2 restart. Alright, now it says that the job for Apache failed. I have done something wrong, it seems. Okay, so the thing is that the logs folder is not present, so we'll have to create the logs folder. So let's create a logs folder. So let's go to cd/var/www and HTML, and we are going to simply say mkdir logs. And now if I go to this folder and if I do vim 000 default, yes, I think we should be good now. So let's try to restart Apache, and yes, everything is working fine. Now if I copy this command, this for loop, it should generate some access logs for me. So I have done this, and now coming back to the Elasticsearch, let's create an index pattern. So I'll say logstash-star, and I'll use a timestamp field and I'll create an index pattern. Now, as you can see that I can always come back to this server IP, which you can copy from here and generate more access logs. Okay, so let's come back to this and click on discover. The moment you click on discover, you will see all the logs here. So we are sending all the logs that Apache is generating to Elastic Stack. And from here you can analyze, you can do a bunch of things, you can create pie charts, sky is the limit. You can have all these logs here, and as and when your website is being accessed, you can see that it had 9 hits, now it should say 10 hits. So this has 10 hits now, and if you hit it say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 more times, it will tell you how many users your website has got. And again, you can always take these logs and analyze them within Elastic using all these features. So I hope that you liked this video and you were able to install ELK Stack in your system. Let me know if you want more videos on ELK Stack, and we'll do something more interesting by packaging all these things in our projects. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.